Hey guys, I'm going to share my story just briefly, but before I do, I want to share how I went from zero to $600,000 in sales my first year in business consulting. As you can see up here, Foymus Capital was started off as Foymus Consulting, and about back in 2021, as you can see here on my screen, I was in a pretty rough position. I was living in a rooming house with six other dudes. I was renting a room for $500 a month. I was barely scraping by. I was technically an entrepreneur at the time, but I had no money. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was scraping by with the odd entrepreneurial things that I was doing. $1,000 here, $2,000 here, $3,000 here, just like barely existing. Then all of a sudden, just one day, it all just clicked. It clicked, and I stumbled upon the secret. The secret of which I'm going to teach everybody here exactly what I did in a step-by-step way, live in our 90-day coaching program. And when I say live, I mean live. You're with me. It's not pre-recorded like some of the other coaches do. It's live. You can interact with me, all that kind of great stuff. But I'm going to take you down a little bit further down memory lane, 2021, where it all changed and shifted for me. Here we go. So 2021, the start, I actually was a little bit before this date. I had already found the secret, and I had already started making money. As you can see, I started a balance of $12,800. So I'd already started accumulating some wealth. As the year went by, I went from 12,000 to 42,000, from 43,000 to 50,000, and then to 561,000. That happened in 1 month. I went from 50,000 to 561,000, 582,000, 584, 596, and then eventually it was at $606,342 is what and 87 cents is what I ended the year at. So I went from nothing to all of a sudden finding the secret, and that year, boom, did over $600,000 in sales. I was astonished that how that changed my life was amazing. I went from going in a literally in a rooming house with a bunch of men, 6 men, paying $500 a month, and I went to living in a penthouse literally, that year. Crazy the contrast between the two. People's lives can change literally like this. Once you stumble upon the right formula, everything changes. And the crazy thing about it is all of this was automated. Everything that I did here was automated. Every day I would click a button on my mouse. By the end of the day, my calendar would be booked. My first month, I booked over 120 meetings. Over 120 meetings. That transacted into over $600,000 in sales. That blew my mind, and it was all automatic, all automated. I didn't have to go to any networking groups, which I used to go to like 30 a month. I didn't have to make one cold call, which I used to do about 80 to 100 a day. I didn't have to do one email. It was all automated, and I found a system that actually worked. And I'm going to teach everybody exactly how I do that. But before I do, I want you to listen to my story, dig a little bit deeper into how I got to where I am. And at the end of this, if you like what you hear, I encourage you to work with me. And over the next 90 days, I'm gonna change and impact your life. But not only that, we have something really cool in store for you, a free bonus gift. But without further ado, I want you to hear my story right now.
Hey guys, I'm going to tell you a little story. So, almost 7 years ago, about 6.5 years ago, I was down on my luck. I was in a position where I didn't want to live anymore. I was severely addicted to drugs and alcohol. My girlfriend at the time decided that she wanted no part of me anymore. Oh man, she was kicking me out of the house that we had together. I was about to be homeless, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, you know what? I have two choices right here and right now to make the decision. I can end it all right now, kill myself. I can go under the bitter end of this addiction, end up on the streets and who knows what, or I can get myself well. And so when I was faced with that decision right then, and I woke up literally, there was like a wall of beer cans. There was paraphernalia from the drugs that I was doing the night before. But when I woke up and felt so shameful, I was like, and I had those choices, I was like, you know what? I need to do something. I need to get myself well. I need to get myself back on track, and I need to really, truly live. I've seen what the gates of hell look like. what does it mean to actually be successful in my life? I said that to myself. I was like, if I was going to be successful in life, like truly successful in all areas of my life, I need to commit myself and I need to do something pretty drastic. So at that exact same time, I met a therapist who gave me this book called Wasted and a documentary called Wasted that changed my life, my perspective on everything. I'm like, I needed to deal with a lot of trauma that I experienced. I had untreated PTSD, untreated PTSD, and I was a mess. And she's like, if you solve the trauma, you're gonna solve everything. And she suggested that I take 90 days of my life and I go into rehab. And I am right now sitting in front of the place that I went to rehab 6.5 years ago. And it is absolutely crazy. Every once in a while I'll come here and it brings me to tears knowing how far I've come. I'm just going to hold it together right now, how far I've come. And 6.5 years ago, I walked in here an empty man wanting to kill himself. Couldn't even look people in the eye. My head was like this. Couldn't even look people in the eye. I was petrified, so scared. Mostly I was scared of looking on the inside. And so here, boom. This is it. It's called Pacifica in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is the place where I got myself well. This is the place I walked right in. Decided I'm going to change everything and change my life. This is the place where I made the decision to change everything. You can see Pacifica on the door. Boom, Pacifica. This is the place where I decided that I'm going for a take to get my life back. But I knew right then and there that I didn't want no ordinary life. I don't want to just, get out of rehab, go get some stupid ass job, work 9 to 5 for my whole life, and struggle like I've seen so many people, like my parents and so many people that I see. I knew that I wanted to have an extraordinary life. Like I wanted to be at the top, right? And I knew right then and there that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. And so reluctantly, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to set my life up for success, but I knew that this place was the catalyst. I'm going to show you catalyst of my change. The walking through there, making that first step, saying to myself that I'm not ready to give up. I need to get myself I need to get myself back at it. I need to get myself to the place where I want to be in life. That I was going to be something. I was going to do something. I was going to be more than what I was giving myself credit to. I knew that it was time for me to live up to where God wanted me, where the universe wanted me. There was this still dream inside my heart, inside my mind, inside me that I knew needed to get out, because I always dreamt these big dreams of who I wanted to be, where I wanted to be, what I wanted my lifestyle to be, but I never thought that I could get it. I tasted success as an employee, but I never, ever in a million years thought I'd be a successful entrepreneur. But there was this dream inside my heart, inside my mind. It said, you can do it. You can do it. And I had this vivid visuals of what it could look like. And that's where it all started, is in my imagination. But I knew that it wasn't me that put that in my heart. It was God. And so when I made that decision, I checked into this place in drug and alcohol rehab, that was it. It was game over. I knew that I was going to taste greatness. Right, Willow? I know she's in her mind. She's saying, yes, Daddy. Anyways, it's amazing, but it's also very emotional for me to be here. Every so often when I need perspective in life, when I see that, when I just need to clear myself and get perspective, I will literally sit in front of this treatment facility. Literally, I will sit here and I will look at the place where I got myself well 6.5 years ago. And I'll see the people who I went into that treatment center with. So many of them passed away now, which is super sad. And I'm one of the ones that stayed alive. And it gives me perspective of like, what is my life worth today? Who am I living for? Am I allowing the people that I went there with die in vain, or am I really living my best life? It's changed everything, guys. Everything. It all needs to start somewhere. And for me, this is where it started. Sitting in front of the place of where I lived when I got out of drug and alcohol treatment facility. Now, when I left the treatment facility, they suggested that I go into second stage housing, which is housing specifically for folks that have graduated their program, and you go into second stage housing for people, be surrounded by people that are like you in early recovery. I opted not to go with that, and I decided I wanted to go off on my own, but I couldn't afford a place on my own. I was, in debt. Like, I think I was about, at the time, maybe 15 grand in debt. I had no money. I was at a government funded facility. I was on government funding. Like, I was poor. So I was like, well, I want to get my own place. I can't afford it. So what's the next best thing? I thought maybe a rooming house. Maybe I'm going to rent a bedroom in a house with a bunch of other people. And it just so happened I rented a place with a bunch of other people. There's, I think, 6 other dudes living in the place. All people that were kind of down on their luck. The owner of the house, his name's George, really good guy. He really takes a liking to helping people and getting them back on their feet. And, several people that lived in his rooming house became, successful people. I think one even went into the Olympics, of all things. So I certainly was one of those cases as well. He doesn't even know this, that I, after living here, I got myself well and, became an entrepreneur, became a successful businessman, all that kind of great stuff. And so here I'm right in front of it right now. And we're going to take a little bit of a look. All right. Not sure if you guys can see this or not, but it's beautiful. It's in the woods, but it was like, so here's the side of the place. Can't really see it from the trees here, guys, but I'm gonna take you down a little trip of memory lane. So here's the driveway. There's George's car right there, the Mustang, but this is where I lived for almost a year. I rented a bedroom right there. You can see kind of where the window is. Ridiculous. I can't believe this. I was here for a year living in a room with, that's it, just a room. Room with a TV in it, and just myself with 6 other guys, scared as hell, trying to figure out life. Move was trying to figure out, how do I go from here to where I wanted to be in life. And it was a really hard journey, Those early days, I was like, man, I wanted to give up almost every day. I wanted to relapse certain times in my life during that journey. But I felt within my heart that there was something more that I could live for. There's something bigger that God had in store for me, something bigger that the universe had in store for me. So I made a decision when I was living in this place. I said to myself, Brad, you're better than what you've given yourself so far in life. And if you stick with it, be consistent, be disciplined, change everything. There was some lonely nights, man, because when you just make that commitment to yourself, when you make that absolute commitment to yourself, it's a lonely journey because you're focusing so much on you, right? It's lonely. Like I had to put in the work. I had to put in the discipline. I had to put in the sleepless nights. I had to grind it out at that time. I didn't know how I was going to do it. No clue how I was going to actually become a successful entrepreneur, but I knew in my heart that I deserved to give it a shot. And so there were sleepless nights. I was working, 16 hours a day. I was, on my laptop constantly. I was in networking groups constantly. It was a lot of work, trying to become successful at that time. And I made so many mistakes. It's because I was doing it on my own. At the time, I didn't have an entrepreneur, like a mentor. I was just grinding it out, hoping something happened, going to networking groups, making cold calls, doing whatever I possibly could at the time in order to try to drum up some form of business. And I kept on failing and failing and failing, but I was failing forward because I was making the effort. I was going into the right steps. I was failing forward. I'd fall on my face. I'd get myself back up and I'd do it again. And I just would not give up. I would not quit, even though the knock came a few times, man. I thought I was gonna, end up relapsing, going back to drinking, going back to drugs, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that. And so this is the place where I started my journey, and it's insane. I'm just coming back to this spot and just where it all started. Sometimes every once in a while I will. My dog's in the back, by the way. Sometimes every once in a while, I will go back to where it all started just to put things in perspective, because oftentimes I don't realize how far I've come. And sometimes I can play this still to this day, even though I have multiple successful businesses, I can still play woe is me. I wish I was further along. And that's insane. So when I come back here and give myself a reality check, dude, that hits home big times.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to my story. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in those early days and early years of my entrepreneurial journey. Before that, as you know, I was homeless. I was down and out. Lived a pretty rough life. I've seen things that most couldn't even imagine. I can laugh about it today. In the recovery movement, we have something that we say, rule number 62, which is don't take ourselves so seriously. To be able to laugh at ourselves is it's great. You know, humor can be a wonderful tool. But anyways, I really encourage you. I really love the opportunity to work with you. If you are a working professional that wants to get into entrepreneurship, you want to break into business consulting, you want to become a business coach, you want to become some form of coaching, I'm here to help you get those initial clients. That's what my role is here. And that's what my job is to get you from that zero mark all the way up to, you know, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 months. As you can see in one of the videos that I made at the very beginning, you know, having a $500,000 month. I want to show you exactly how that is possible. Now, if you're an existing coach and an existing consultant, I want to teach you how to start breaking through those, you know, when you start getting a little bit of traction, you're making, you know, you get a $10,000 month, you feel so excited, but then the next month it's just like the well dries up. I want to help you break through those ceilings and have 30,000 months consistently every single month and then scale. So one of the things is what is really important when you do any type of, you know, program or coaching or you engage with a mentor is you want to make sure that you're supported through your journey. Now, what I see time and time again with other coaches is you do their coaching program, you do their, you know, their webinars, which are just pre-recorded. You do their courses, which again are pre-recorded, but you never meet the mentor. Did you know that 90% of the people that do these courses never ever meet the person that actually, you know, the course that they've done? Like, that is insane to me. And so all of the stuff that we do is live training. So number one, the first thing you're gonna get is 90 days of live coaching with me and my team. So this is once a week. It's going to be us all together live. You can be able to ask questions live. I'll be there to answer. It's not going to be pre-recorded. It's going to be me and you and, you know, surrounded by our community. It's going to be amazing. We're going to take you through a pretty awesome step-by-step process of how I went from zero to $600,000 in sales my first year in business. But what I'm going to do is, my first year in business, I was still trying to figure it out, right? If I knew what I knew today, I would have easily 10x that amount. So we're going to teach you some of the things of which I went from 0 to 600. Now, all the things. What am I saying? Some of the things. We're going to teach you all of the things. And then next is, this is what I was mentioning, is typically after you're done coaching, you're done the course, there's this fall off period. There's no support afterwards. So right away, we're going to get you into our Facebook community. You're automatically added to the Facebook community so you get support, and we're going to be doing lives there every single week. You're going to get a ton of additional information. More importantly, you're going to be part of the community. Next, we're going to immediately give you access to our WhatsApp group so you can get instant support. This is for lifetime too, right? So you're going to get instant support for our WhatsApp group. You're going to be there to be able to ask any question, any concern, and myself or one of the teammates or someone else as part of the community can instantly respond so we can all help each other. So last, and here's the free bonus, which I'm really, really excited to share with you, is we wanted to take it one step further. We're giving a free bonus, and this is for a limited time, is we are going to give 12 months of our mastermind group. And I'm telling you, 12 months of mastermind group, if any other coach was to offer this, it'd be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in a high-level mastermind group for over a year. We're offering this absolutely free to our folks that join our 90-day program. This is amazing because this is where the real work begins. Once you've done the course, that part's easy. The course is the program is easy. You know, we're guiding you through a step-by-step process. It's easy. But where the real work happens is after the course, when you're implementing these things, when you're coming across when you're stumbling across, some challenging moments, when you're hitting a wall, like those are things that we want to uncover. So the mastermind group is phenomenal because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be celebrating people's wins, but we're also going to be digging into people's roadblocks, and we're going to help them through those roadblocks together as a community, together as a team. It is peer-to-peer led, so it's not me just coaching. It's actually peer-to-peer led, where a group of our peers will help us and we'll pool all of our resources together. Our whole community will pour our resources together to help every single one succeed in business. If they're struggling, if they're going through something, we're there to actually pick it up. These meetings are going to be held once a month, and it's you get that free access as a bonus right away. This is over a $10,000 value. Like I said, some coaches charge over $100,000 a year for high-level mastermind courses, and this is where the real work actually begins. So you're actually working with us for over a year. So you're supported throughout that whole time. You know that you have somebody that you can rely upon. You have myself, you have my team, you have all the people that are part of the community, you're in the mastermind groups, you're doing the courses, you're doing the work that's needed to be successful. And what my goal is very simple. I did $600,000 my first year. I want to make sure that every single one of my students blows me out of the water, because if I knew what I knew now, I would have done even better. And I'm going to teach you what I know now, not what I knew back then. So you're going to get, this is going to be so incredible. I'm really excited for you to be part of the journey. So without further ado, I want you to click on the link, book your first free coaching session with me right away. So that's another bonus. You get a free coaching session. If you don't receive value out of that free coaching session, then don't work with me. My goal in that free coaching session is to give you as much value as humanly possible, that where you go away thinking, wow, that was amazing, and I want to work with Brad. So you get a free coaching call. Do not hesitate. We want to start that free coaching call right now. So please click on the link below and let's get started. And with that, you're going to get free 12-month bonus to our mastermind. You can get 90 days of coaching with me live, so you can interact with all of us, my team. You're going to get the WhatsApp channel for absolutely free as well, which you can stay connected instantly. You get instant access to us, and then you get our Facebook community. That's a pretty awesome program. I don't know any other coaches out there that are actually doing this. I don't know any coaches that are offering this much value for free. So just get started now. Just click on that link and let's get started. And let's book your first coaching session now. We'll see you on the flip side.